Welcome to Leveling Up with Lindsay, the podcast where we dive into leadership, small business, and everything in between. I'm Lindsay, your host and the proud owner of White Peony Boutique, a space created to empower women, build confidence, and foster meaningful connections. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a mom, a friend, or someone just looking for a little inspiration, this is your space to feel seen, supported, and inspired. Join me as we share stories, strategies, and a little bit of life's chaos while navigating what it truly means to level up in starting a business, relationship, and personal growth. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's level up together. Welcome back to Leveling Up with Lindsay. Today's episode feels especially meaningful to me because I'm sitting down with someone I've admired for a very, very long time, even before we ever officially connected. Sometimes you come across a person and you can just tell. Their presence carries depth, their leadership carries integrity, their work carries intention. That's how Amanthi has felt to me. I haven't known Amanthi for years, but I've watched her from a distance. I've watched how she shows up, how she leads, how she works with excellence while still leading with heart. And I remember thinking, that is definitely someone I want to learn from. What I admire most about Amanthi isn't just her accomplishments, and there are definitely many. It's her work ethic, her clarity, and the quiet confidence she carries into every space she enters. She's the kind of leader who doesn't need to announce herself. You feel her presence instead. Today's conversation is honest, grounded, and deeply inspiring. We talk about leadership, growth, health, purpose, and what it truly looks like to evolve, not just professionally. So before we dive in, I want to say this. I'm genuinely grateful she said yes to this conversation. Amanthi, I'm so honored to have you, and I'd love for you to start by introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about your journey.
I grew up in Sri Lanka and came to the U.S. with just 2 suitcases and a whole lot of belief that I could build something meaningful. I studied at Iowa State University, then went on to grad school in Davenport, Iowa, where I got my doctorate in chiropractic. And then the plan was to get experience here and move back home and open a clinic. But life had other plans. I met my husband from Minnesota, and together we decided to plant our roots here, start a family, and I built my practice, Demuth Spinal Care and Concussion Center. That's a little bit about me in a nutshell and how I got started.
I love it. And you're obviously a wife and a mom. You have the sweetest little boy.
Thank you.
I love it. So you definitely, your story, Amanthi, has always inspired me deeply. I think what you've done and what you've accomplished and your deep roots and values of your family life are so incredible. I just want you to know, I definitely look up to you in so many ways. But I would love to talk a little bit more. When you look back on your early life and your upbringing, what do you think those years taught you about resilience or responsibility, caring for others?
Yeah, so growing up in a developing country taught me that resilience is built through community. Our culture was very collective. Family and friends were always together, sharing meals, and people just stopping by whenever. There was always room at the table. That sense of togetherness and caring for others shaped who I am, and it's something I bring into my work every day, creating spaces where people feel supported and cared for.
You know, that is one thing. So I follow you on social media, of course, and I talked to you about this before, and Mandy, a good friend of both of ours. I love seeing your family gatherings, and you are quite the cook.
Hey, thanks. I like cooking.
You do such a good job. When you talk about family gatherings and your values, I can see that clear as day. And I actually love because you make a lot from scratch, don't you?
Yeah.
You guys have got to.
You can come over.
Yeah, I was like, you. But you, if anyone is listening right now, honestly, follow Amanthi on social media because it's really cool to connect all of your achievements and your accomplishments to who you are. And it's very clear without even trying. It's very clear what your values of family are. And I just love seeing your get-togethers, and I love seeing your food that you make from scratch. I was like, oh, you put me to shame. Oh, my goodness. So, Amanthi, you've been invested deeply in learning and growth over the years, of course, from your education, your advanced training, to continuing your leadership development, of course, to speaking I've seen in professional spaces. From your perspective, what does real expertise actually require from a person? Someone can go through the process and have the title of being a doctor, of course, an extensive process at that. but real expertise in your area, your business, what does that actually mean besides the title?
Yeah, I think real expertise is fueled by passion, but grounded in humility. It's not just about accumulating knowledge or credentials. It's about staying curious and being willing to keep learning, even when you're already considered an expert.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think no matter what field you're in, if you truly, like, an expert or expertise is such a strong phrase, but the true, genuine, like, being curious about something you love or something that fuels you with passion is so important.
Yeah.
And I think that's when people turn to you, is when they can feel that sense of heart and love for what you're doing. So I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's really powerful. Now, you've built and led your own healthcare business. You've definitely collaborated with community organizations and spoke to leaders, about innovation, collaboration, resilience. When you moved from doing the work, because you have put the time and the work into getting to where you are right now, but what shifted for you personally when it went from doing the work to leading the work?
Yeah. So even as I stepped more into leadership, I never fully stepped away from patient care. I still see patients part-time because that connection keeps me grounded. What shifted was realizing I could also impact healthcare at a bigger level, shaping systems, leading conversations, and improving how a care is delivered. That's why I actually pursued my postgraduate program at Harvard, so that I can learn to grow, to lead, and to serve more effectively.
That's incredible. So what is it like with your care with your patients? Like, what makes you different? I mean, your practice, what is different from the rest, do you think?
Yeah. So we're mainly an upper cervical chiropractic practice, and we do baseline testing for concussions, and we do some nutrition counseling and things like that too. We have a very precise and gentle approach to chiropractic. There's like over 200 techniques out there. So what we practice is a little bit different. It's called Atlas orthogonal chiropractic. Most of the people that we see come with neck pain, headaches, migraines, post-concussion.
I was just going to ask you about that. Actually, I had a conversation. One of my employees, her husband had gone through a very traumatic brain injury this year. And with our discussion, and a light bulb came on when I saw some of the work that you've done online or your team. And Autumn was like, oh my gosh, what a great resource for her husband to come for continued care. Because it actually is incredible. Like, this isn't negative on anyone, but unfortunately, people do get lost in the system a little bit. And for her, and she's like, what a great resource to come see you with Aaron, because, like, once you're done and out of their care, you're done. You're gone.
Right.
And then who do you turn to, especially for a traumatic brain injury?
Right. And healing is a process.
It is. And
your brain is always evolving. Like, you have to do certain things to continue to heal.
yes.
Yeah.
So, Amanthi, you've had moments where your work has made, obviously, a real visible impact in your community. Obviously, the people you serve and through the conversations that you've been invited to. But when you pause and reflect on those moments, what actually stands out to you most about why you do the work that you do?
Yeah. So what stands out most is how rewarding this work is. Seeing people struggle with migraines, headaches, post-concussion symptoms for years, and then finally they're getting some relief. And even if you get like 50% progress or improvement, that's huge. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, that can change how somebody shows up in life. And those add up, and it's very rewarding.
Do you have pretty long-term patients?
Yes, we do.
That just continue to come
for maintenance care. Yeah, because I mean, you have so many stresses nowadays, and it helps you adapt to stresses better when you're aligned and your nervous system is functioning optimally.
A friend of ours, Mandy, gave me insight to her experience coming to see you. And she kind of was like, she told me about the thing that you used on her neck. I don't know. I don't know words for those contraptions.
It's the Atlas orthogonal instrument.
Okay.
It's called a stylus.
Okay, there we go. But she was telling me how that worked, and she goes, it's actually changed my life. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So I would love to know a day in the life of Dr. Amanthi. What does that look like? Just general, like work, personal life, just a little rundown.
Yes.
What that looks like for you, because you are busy. But
wake up and then get baby ready. My husband helps out quite a bit with like getting him ready because he runs around. It's like brushing his teeth is a whole process. And then he'll get him to daycare and I go to work and he goes to work. He works in Painesville and then work serving patients or leading team. And then I do a few like people that I collaborate with, I would like meet up with professionals.
Sure.
At the end of the day, picking up is my part. So I pick up our son and then start to make dinner. And then we spend a little bit of family time together. And then it's bath time for baby and putting him to bed. When I did the Harvard program, it was a 1-year program. So then I'd study at night or early in the morning. And now, though, I'm like, what do I do?
You have more time that you know what to do with.
My husband's like, please don't start something again. Like, give yourself a break, a little bit of break. So,
I love that. Are you an well, I would say you are, but like, are you to your core an achiever?
But like Asian parents, like you don't get to sleep in or anything. You just,
You're a doer. I love that.
Like, yeah. So like growing up in like Asian culture too, like you have to do more, be more.
It's funny because I've had this conversation with me and you quite a bit, actually. So as you reflect on everything that you've built, Amanthi, and experienced so far, what out of like looking back at everything from education to your journey to your leadership to owning your practice to being a mom and a wife, what do you think truly has made you stronger? Especially, obviously, there are always seasons that have stretched everybody individually. But what does that look like for you?
I think my daily rituals and that foundation makes me really strong. Exercise, meditation, family time, all those are like my daily rituals. Yeah. And I think having a strong support system, like your family,
is so huge.
Yes.
So what kind of workout? I'm just curious. Like, what do you do in the morning?
I go to Orange Theory.
Do you?
Or K-Power.
Yeah.
Those are the two things.
Love. So running and like the hot yoga.
Yes.
And then your meditation, do you do that at home or what does that look like?
I do. I have this app, like a mindfulness app, and then I do that like 10 minutes. It sets up my day so well. And then the days that I miss it, I'm like, why didn't I do that? Like,
that
just gets you started like on the right foot.
Yeah.
Like you view everything like a little differently. You don't get irritable.
I
like,
love that.
Something can go really wrong and you just chill.
You're okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Noted. Everyone listening, let's add this to our 2026 No, that has been something kind of, this last like year or two, business has like changed in many, many ways and with an economy kind of being up and down. That has been one thing on my mind. I have a place in my office pretty much set up for it perfectly.
Yeah.
But have I done this? So I'm going to put it out here in the podcast world right now and in front of you that I will do I'm going to start the meditating.
Yeah. I'll send you a text. Hey, did you meditate
I'm
today?
going to. Make me do it tomorrow. Otherwise,
how'd you start your day?
We can't do this starting a Monday thing because it will never happen. But truly, I have heard nothing but great benefits about just grounding you and bringing that peace to your core before you start the day, before the chaos starts.
Yeah.
Well, that's really neat. Is there any other advice as far as you'd give to someone as far as their routine?
I think movement is so important. I know like in the Western world, you look at exercise as like how you look, but there's so much more to it. It's not the way you look, but it's the peace of mind and clarity that it gives. And also how like for spinal hygiene, it's kind of like dental hygiene. It's so important. And then when the endorphins are released, like you feel super good. Like why not start your day that way?
I actually loved what you just said about did you say spinal? What did you say?
Yeah, spinal hygiene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way. That's incredible. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Like your thoughts about that? Like it being like a dental hygiene, I totally have never thought of it that way.
Yeah, so you have to take care of spinal health, like your dental health. So that's why like I love chiropractic care. When you're aligned, you function better. And then movement, because like your joints need movement. So if you were just like sitting all day at work, I mean, that does impact you and affect you. So movement, the right type of nutrition, being in alignment, all that's super important for spinal health so that you can live a good quality of life.
I love that. I think that's a really great way of thinking because, I'm always like eager to get a teeth cleaning on the books. But you think of, exercise and making a routine for yourself as being honestly chores when it should be thought about opposite.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is kind of the perfect transition, I think, because, Amanthi and I talked a little bit about our theme at White Peony Boutique is New Year, Stronger You. And that theme is different than ever before. Everyone's heard of the theme, New Year, New You. This year, it is not anything new about you. It's actually, we've all tackled an interesting 2025. I have been a part of many conversations where people's health or wellness or financial or business or no business, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. When we came up with the New Year, Stronger You theme, it was about standing in your values, looking back at 2025 and saying, I conquered whatever that year looked like for you, and standing tall and owning it and saying, what are the lessons I learned? What are my beliefs? What are my values? What am I bringing to the table? So the New Year Stronger You going into 2026 is really, really about standing more confidently and being an even better version of you, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing changes, just knowing and learning and taking what you've learned and being the strongest you for 2026. But when people say they want to be stronger this year, what do you hope they really understand about that word? Would you say? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, strength isn't about doing more or pushing harder. Real strength is feeling grounded and regulated and aligned. When the mind and body are supported, strength becomes more like sustainable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely deeper than the surface level.
Mm-hmm.
So many people step into the new year pushing harder, and you just kind of said it. What would you say to someone who actually needs permission to slow down or to become stronger? Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah. So growing up in Asian culture, I was always taught to push harder and do more. So through my marriage, I've learned that slowing down actually makes you stronger. Slowing down brings more clarity, presence, and intention. And I've learned that through my husband, Nicholas.
I love that.
Mostly it's how his behavior and how he approaches life. And it's such a great example.
I love that. I love that. We talked about this a little bit, but when it comes to health, like how do you encourage people to think beyond pressure, goals, and perfection? So I would imagine you have these conversations in your practice with friends and family, but what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, definitely health isn't about pressure or perfection. It's about listening to your body and choosing what genuinely supports you. Progress happens when you work with your body, not against it.
I'm sure you probably see a lot, like every person is so different.
Absolutely.
I actually had more success in my health when I stopped thinking and talking about like scales and sizes and anything about that and started understanding like what fuels me.
Yeah.
And how I could sleep better and those kind of things. So I'm sure you have those conversations every day.
Absolutely, yes.
Is there any like tidbits or other advice that you typically give or things that you would, conversations that you would have?
Health, like healing is a process. It's never linear. So you're going to have those ups and downs. But when you have those downs, remembering all the wins and the high points in life so that you can get through it, you know that you can get through it, it does help a ton because mindset is a huge part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's never linear.
So, Amanthi, you lead in very powerful spaces. But leadership also, of course, shows up. We talked about this a little bit in everyday life. What does leadership look like for someone listening who isn't running a company or isn't running a team?
Leadership shows up in the way you treat people every day. It's about presence, kindness, integrity, and respect. And we all want to treat others like how we want to be treated. It could be that you're not leading a business, but you're leading your family or a group in a school or, so you're always leading in some way. And I think if you do it in a kind and respected manner, that says a lot.
It does. We talked about this in one of our last episodes, like how you leave a room, how you enter a room, how you make people feel, how you leave a room and make people feel. But it is in every aspect of your life, whether you're at home with your family or whether you're walking into a store or a grocery store or walking out. If it is a school group that you're a part of or you're an athlete in school, if you're listening to this and you're an athlete and how you, your team, how you make them feel when you're present.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this year isn't about fixing everything. What do you believe it is about?
So fixing to me it creates a lot of overwhelm, at least to me.
Yes.
So I think this year to me is about alignment, peace, and growth. That's my focus, and that's how I look at it. When you're well rested and when you trust the process, usually things
Go a lot better.
right? And growth becomes pretty natural and sustainable.
Yeah, I agree. I love that you said alignment. Like alignment is, to me, when we talk about the New Year, Stronger You, and you talk about alignment, what brings you peace, I think for me personally, there was moments in 2025 that brought me to dive into the hardest of what brings me peace, like really focusing on what that looks like and what that feels like. And so I think if anything, like I can say personally, I'm standing stronger in who I am. And that means that I am letting things come in front of me or welcoming new ideas or new people. But it has to align. It has to align with who I am, my values, and all of that. So I think that's perfect. I think we're on the same page with the New Year Stronger You. The one thing I think about you when I think, without even knowing you for very long, is that you stand grounded in your values and what aligns with your beliefs. When I think of New Year Stronger You, there's nothing like if I said, Amanthi, what would you say to that? Honestly, you just stand stronger in exactly who you are. So good. Okay, for someone listening who wants this year to feel steadier, healthier, and more aligned, where would you encourage them to begin?
I would say start with rest. I feel like everyone's so like
Amen to that.
and stressed. So yeah, start with rest and then some movement and alignment. When you're not rested, you don't make good decisions. You don't have clarity. You just, like a zombie.
I couldn't agree with you more.
You can't think right. So you make better decisions and you live a better quality of life. So yeah.
I agree. You know, I went through a process with this for someone who couldn't sleep very well, is up tossing and turning, and anxiety kind of took over some nights. Is there a recommendation for someone to get better rest? Yeah.
Start with alignment. We can help you.
Step one.
There are certain herbs and formulas and so many things that you can take to help support rest. But if you're thinking like better ways that you can do it at home, having like a sleep routine, getting to bed on a certain time, reducing screen time a couple of hours ahead of time, even doing a small meditation to just get your neurons to not be firing so much and just for things to calm down. There are certain teas you can do to help slow down and unwind. So
I should have done the meditation the other night. My mind was going 1,000 miles an hour with all these things I'm working on behind the scenes and all these ideas. And if I would have taken 5 minutes out of, to go in my office and just do a small meditation, I honestly think that is exactly what have just calmed. Well, I will be coming to see you for more recommendations. Honestly, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to pause for a moment and say this. Amanthi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability, your wisdom. Thank you for the way you lead, not just with knowledge, but with intention, humility, and heart. This conversation reminded me that leadership doesn't have to be loud to be powerful, that growth doesn't have to be rushed to be meaningful, and that the most impactful leaders are the ones who stay rooted in who they are, even as they continue to become more. To everyone listening, if today's conversation resonated with you, I hope it reminded you that your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Your pace is allowed to be your own, and your purpose will unfold in the moments where you choose integrity over pressure. Amanthi is such a beautiful example of what it looks like to lead with clarity, discipline, and heart. And I know this won't be her last time. Her voice stays with you. Thank you, Amanthi, for being here and for the example you continue to set. And thank you to everyone listening for spending your time with us today. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone who needs a reminder. And, of course, reach out to Miss Amanthi. Follow her on social media, or...
Yeah, you can email me, drdamonth@damonspinalcare.com. Yeah, and follow me on social.
I love it. So until next time, keep growing, keep leading with intention, and keep leveling up. Thank you for listening. If you found this information helpful, please share it with a friend. If you're looking for more information on the topics we covered, please head to the show notes below. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a 5-star rating and review, This would help this mission and our journey to get started. Let's make today and every day an opportunity to level up. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep striving, and keep making a difference.